why are we choosing to build a homestead instead of buying one? Well, there are 4 main reasons, so let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Katie, and if you've always dreamed about buying a plot of land, building a home, and turning into a sustainable homestead, then this channel is for you, especially if you're a homemaker or stay-at-home mom, because my goal is to take this channel and turn it into something that you can use as a resource, so then you're able to accomplish this. Also, if you just like watching it, then I won't say no either, but without further ado, let's jump in. So the first reason we are building a homestead instead of buying one that I want to talk about is the fact that we have control over the design of the home itself. And I really highlight this in one of my other videos. I'll put a link below to that if you want to watch it. But essentially, a home is an extension of a person's lifestyle. And this is especially true if you're on a homestead, because you want to use the house and the land to its max, because it's going to matter in how you function on the day-to-day homesteading tasks. Like, for example, and I have a video on this, I'll also put that below, how the kitchen functions. Are you able to can properly? You know, you want to be able to do that and be able to do it effectively. Or it could be as simple as having the right type of storage for all of the tools and equipment that you have for your homestead. The house that I'm living in now, it has a ton of storage, but storage for a different lifestyle, if you will. So some of the places that we have storage, we don't use it as much as other places where we wish we had more. So having the correct type of storage is crucial in how the home functions. So if we have the chance to build the house itself, then that gives us a chance to control what we want in certain areas and what we don't need in other areas. Next up is deciding the layout of the land. Essentially, we will be having a clean slate. I really talk about this and the different things that you need to think about when placing your home in the driveway, and how all of that affects the land portion and how you can use it to its max. So I'll put a link to that video below as well. But short of buying a pre-existing farm, which there's really not many in the area that we want to live, simply because we want to stay close to family and friends, like we would be faced with buying a home and then changing the landscaping to fit the homesteading needs. And I gotta tell you, like, that just, I don't know, it kind of makes me cringe. It makes me cringe of the idea of moving if there's already beautiful flowers or shrubs or what have you to a different location, especially if your space is limited. It's like, what do you do with it? Do you plant it in a new area where it might not get the sun that it needs? Or do you just sell it or get rid of it? Again, just having the opportunity to build allows us with a clean slate where we don't have to worry about that, and we get to decide what we want where without having to go through the extra steps of moving things or getting rid of things and so on and so forth. The third reason why we're deciding to build instead of buy is because it will be cheaper. Now hold on, I do need to go into some explaining on this, and I'm saying this hesitantly too because I know everything could possibly change. But for us, one, we're in a unique situation, and we're in a unique situation because we were able to get the land from my in-laws. So that in of itself, we got it for a deal. Like, I know, a very unique situation. The other reason too that I'm kind of cautious with saying this is that we have our budget right now of what things will cost. It could certainly go up and it could certainly come down. So for that reason, there is a little bit of an unknown. But as it stands right now, with the sweat equity that we plan on putting into the build, we are hoping that it will be cheaper what we're getting compared to if we were to just buy a house outright. And there's a lot of factors at play for this. Like I said before, a lot of sweat equity is going into it. So we will be doing a lot of things ourselves to save money, or we have help, thankfully, from different family members that are in that specific trade that will be helping us as well. The other thing too is just the ability to make decisions on the things that we could easily go without. Like for example, we don't need a garage. It's a luxury item. It would be very nice, but we don't need it. Now, if we were to find a similar house, but it had a garage, that would be something that would jack up the price. You know what I mean? Or like the heating situation or just different things like that. Building allows us the control of making the decisions of what we can go without. Another thing too, everything will be brand new. So if we're buying a fixer-upper for a hefty chunk of change, we'll probably need to replace that roof, or we might need to replace the septic, or, you know, what have windows, whatever. Everything will be brand new. So in theory, we won't need to be replacing things because it's new. So even though we're paying for it upfront now, I would hate to buy a house and then be like, oh, we got to spend X amount of dollars on replacing the roof. And we already have a mortgage that's pretty expensive, if that makes any sense. So control, sweat equity, and then having things that are new and not needing to be replaced down the line kind of makes it, in my mind at least, cheaper for the time being. The last reason why we are deciding to build instead of buy is simply because there's more certainty. Now, I know with a new house build, you're not free from this. Things can still go wrong. But when you hear horror stories of buying a house and then you find out that it has a severe mold problem, or there's things that need to be updated like really badly, or just those things that you didn't realize when you bought the house, at least for us, it's kind of like, okay, like we built it, we're overseeing things. We have a little bit more control over seeing that kind of stuff happen. And the other thing, like the house itself just has a clean slate. Like I personally know people who bought a house, and I'm pretty sure that they knew this, but they bought a house and the owners that had it prior, the husband ended up murdering his wife, and I think he like put her in like the trunk of his car or something. I would not feel comfortable with that. And you know, if you like, I think they knew, so obviously like it didn't bother them, but can you imagine buying a house then finding out later on down the road from like the neighbors something that like tragic happened to it? Like, I don't know, to me, like having a new custom home build allows us to know exactly that our house has a clean slate. And to take it a step further, my husband and I were both Catholic. I like the idea of writing different biblical verses on the framing of the house to just really instill that idea that everything comes from God, it's a blessing, and it's, living the lifestyle that we're trying to live to the best of our ability. And again, the fact that the house won't have that extra baggage if something happens with the previous owners. That's all I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please hit that subscribe button and make a comment if there would be a reason why you would want to build so that I didn't mention today. But until next time, I will see you then. Bye.